Things to know before traveling to Cuba in 2023. Are you thinking of visiting Cuba in 2023? Cuba is a stunning Caribbean island with a fascinating culture. It's not surprising that Cuba is a well-liked travel destination with its magnificent beaches, exciting towns, and distinctive culture. However, there are a few things you should be aware of before making travel arrangements to Cuba. Here are a few key details you should be aware of before visiting Cuba in 2023. Number 1. Cuba Tourist Card, Cuba Visa. Travelers to Cuba will need to apply for a visa in advance of their trip starting in 2023. The kind of visa needed may change depending on the reason for the visit. The Cuba Tourist Card is most likely required if you visit Cuba for tourism. You might need to apply for a complete visa if you're going on a business trip, going to school, visiting family, or for some other specific reasons. There are two color options for the Cuba Tourist Card, pink and green. The pink one's required for anyone flying directly from the US to Cuba. If coming from another nation, you'll require a green version. The Cuba Tourist Card is available from your airline, travel company, local Cuban embassy or consulate, or online, the website Easy Tourist Card. A valid passport, a completed visa application form, a passport-sized photo, and evidence of sufficient cash for the duration of the stay are required for applicants. There can be a need for additional documents depending on the type of visa. The 30-day validity period of the tourist card can be increased to 60 days. Number 2. Currency in Cuba. The Cuban peso, CUP, is anticipated to continue serving as the country's legal currency in 2023. It's a crucial issue that travelers should take into account. Although the Cuban convertible peso, CUC, which is primarily used by visitors and is not the official currency, is also commonly recognized. There are set exchange rates between the two currencies. It's important to exchange any leftover money before leaving Cuba because the Cuban peso is not recognized outside of the island. Although some locations will accept credit cards, it's essential to carry cash on hand. It's also vital to remember that Cuba does not accept US dollars. The most convertible and favored currency in Cuba is the euro. Number 3. Health and safety in Cuba. In terms of violent crime, Cuba ranks among the most secure nations in the Americas. Pickpocketing is increasingly prevalent, but still manageable if you take a few simple safeguards. Never exchange money with an unauthorized street vendor. The possibility of getting fake notes does exist. Cuba has a solid healthcare system in one sense. On the other hand, it lacks medications. Bring all the prescription pills you anticipate using, as well as any other medications you may need, such as ibuprofen or paracetamol. Consider bringing COVID-19 protection gear as well. Beware of shady smokers. Cigars sold on the street are almost always fake manufacturing rejects. Driving is also more difficult. Think about taking the bus, or at the very least, hiring a chauffeur. All tourists visiting Cuba must have health insurance according to the government. Number 4. Accommodation. Cuba offers a wide variety of reasonably priced lodging options to suit all budgets. There are hotels, hostels, and private rentals available, and many of them have wonderful amenities like pubs, restaurants, and swimming pools. There are also casas particulares, which are private homes that provide a distinctive window into Cuban culture for those seeking a more genuine experience. Prices are typically lower than in other Caribbean nations, and those who book in advance can take advantage of numerous discounts. Number 5. Food in Cuba. Cuba will be a great destination for travelers looking for delicious food. Cuban cuisine is a unique blend of Spanish, African, and Caribbean influences, and it's sure to tantalize your taste buds. Also, it's known for its fresh ingredients, with seafood, pork, and beef being the most popular. Famous dishes include ropa vea, a slow-cooked shredded beef dish, and moros y cristianos, a combination of black beans and white rice. Seafood is also a staple in Cuban cuisine, with dishes like ceviche, a marinated fish dish, and paella, a seafood and rice dish. Cuban sandwiches made with ham, pork, Swiss cheese, pickles, and mustard are also a must-try. For dessert, try a traditional Cuban flan or a slice of guava pastry. With its unique flavors and vibrant culture, Cuba is sure to be a great destination for food lovers. Number 6. Internet access in Cuba. Cubans still have limited access to the internet, but the government has been working to expand access for both locals and tourists. A large number of websites and social media networks are restricted in Cuba since the country's internet is controlled by a single government provider, ETECSA. There's no internet connectivity in private residences. In certain hotels, eateries, and other public locations, visitors can access the internet. However, the connection's frequently slow and inconsistent, Mobile data is available, but it's expensive and the coverage is limited. The government's working to expand access to the internet, but it's still a work in progress. Travelers should be aware that access to the internet in Cuba is still limited and should plan accordingly. Number 7. Culture in Cuba. The culture of Cuba is a unique blend of Spanish, African, and Caribbean influences. The dances with music, as well as the food and beliefs, all incorporate characteristics from both the old and the new worlds. The music is an integral part of Cuban culture, and visitors can experience the vibrant sounds of salsa, rumba, and reggaeton in the streets and clubs. Cuban art is also a major draw, with its colorful murals, sculptures, and paintings. The culture is also known for its vibrant nightlife, with lively bars, clubs, and discos. Travelers can also explore the country's rich history and culture by visiting its many museums, galleries, and monuments. Cuba is a fascinating destination for travelers in 2023, and its unique culture is sure to leave a lasting impression. Number 8. Shopping in Cuba. With the recent changes in US-Cuba relations, it's now easier than ever to visit the island nation. Shopping in Cuba is a great way to experience the culture and take home a piece of the country. There are many markets and stores throughout the country that offer a variety of items. From traditional Cuban cigars to handmade crafts, there's something for everyone. Prices are generally very reasonable, and bargaining is encouraged. Shopping in Cuba is also a great way to support the local economy. Many of the items are made by local artisans, and the money goes directly to them. Shopping in Cuba is a fantastic way to get a taste of the local culture and bring something back to your home country. Number 9. Weather in Cuba. All seasons are magical in Cuba, but November to April is the greatest time to plan a trip there. The Caribbean enjoys high temperatures, plenty of sunshine, and fewer rainstorms in the late fall and winter. After a somewhat calm time, the tourism business drastically picks up in the months of November and December. There will be a wide range of activities available to you. However, there will be a sizable amount of people. Even so, there are lots of activities to keep you engaged, such as the Havana International Ballet Festival and the Days of Cuban Culture. Remember that the holidays and the new year do see an increase in hotel prices. Keep a watch on weather warnings as eastern Cuba endures the highest levels of heat, humidity, and storm threat. Year-round, the southeast tends to be hotter and stickier. Cuba's blend of African, Caribbean, and European traditions makes it possible for festivities to take place all year round. Number 10. Vaccination. Before traveling to Cuba, it's crucial to confirm your country's immunization requirements. In Cuba, vaccination rates are at 90%. Some vaccinations are advised or required to visit Cuba. Hepatitis A, hepatitis B, typhoid, cholera, rabies, meningitis, polio, measles, mumps, and rubella (MMR), Tdap, tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, chickenpox, shingles, pneumonia, and influenza vaccinations are all advised for Cuba by the CDC and WHO. Although you can now visit Cuba without a COVID vaccination record, we still advise against it for all domestic and international travel. To find out if vaccinations are available in your region, contact your neighborhood passport health clinic. Number 11. Many essential items could be in low supply. Although Cuba's never been a country of abundance, the pandemic has made shortages worse than ever. Hotels and some shops may sell things, however, the majority of these items are generally pricey and require payment by a bank card. Many of the stores will have lines. Don't be rude if you can't obtain the exact meal you want. Cubans tolerate these shortages with amazing fortitude. If you bring a few of Cadbury's finest bars, you'll be the most well-liked person in Cuba. Although food is in shortage, there will always be rum available. You'll become an expert in the Havana Club, Black Tears, Ron Santiago, and Caney after just a week in Cuba. Any lack of diversity in the food will be made up for by rum drinks and the local Crystal Lager. Please click the like button if you found this video to be helpful. If you've been to Cuba before, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe to our channel if you want to learn more about travel. See you later. Thank you.